Hello, guys. Welcome. Heather Marie Art here. Thank you for being with me today. We're going to do a marker piece. So, if you guys got a set of markers or if you have some other kind of medium that you want to work with, let's grab it and bust out the sketchbook and work on something along with me. So you can see my tower there. I've got not just Copics, but other markers mixed in there. And I made the little things at the bottom. So it's kind of, I can kind of see the colors as I'm going across. I did that so that this year I can make more use of these markers. I just got these Oahu, wait, I'm saying the name wrong. The new markers on the right. And, I have so many of the other markers and I just want to make use of all my supplies and start finishing sketchbooks. It's like progress over perfection is what I'm thinking about this year. I really want to not let the perfectionism, get to me and prevent me from putting out artwork and making artwork and stuff. And so I would love it if you guys want to join me with some of these videos and some of this. If you guys have any good ideas or anything that you're wanting to see differently or anything like that, definitely down below, comment. Also, like and subscribe if you think about it. That really helps this small little bitty channel grow. And I really like making the art and posting videos and learning how to do all that with y'all. So if you find anything interesting at all, that would be helpful if you like and subscribe. But as you can see, so working on another portrait. This one is a little bit, I put out a few shorts with some portraits. This one I actually did, I'm putting up right there, I did the sketch on the iPad in Procreate. I don't always do that. But I do find it a lot easier because, you're not messing up your paper with erasing, especially on finished pieces. It's a lot easier because you're not erasing where you want your watercolor to stay pristine and stuff. So, but this one, I kind of picked out a few different references and kind of Frankensteined them into one and then sketched them out on a different file. And it's really cool because I don't, some people are against references and stuff like that. I believe they do a lot of good. There below, I put that cut in there. If you guys have never seen that little vacuum by Faber-Castell, the thing is so cool. A lot of times I'm using the gummy eraser, but I do really like the green or the black erasers. They work really good, especially with colored pencil and stuff, but they leave those eraser chunks. And if you're like me, you end up brushing them or blowing them on the floor and then they're everywhere. So that little vacuum comes in handy for all kinds of stuff that gets messy with art supplies. But yeah, so I was sketching out this sketch on Patreon from a bunch of different references. I usually use references, whether I'm finding them on Pinterest or what have you. But this time was really fun. I kind of grabbed a bunch of different ones. Like I said, Frankenstein some stuff together rather than just doing it in my imagination using different things. And that was a lot of fun. So as you can see, some of these Copics that I'm using, I've had for a little while. Unfortunately, I have not used them like I'd like to for them to be as dry. That's one thing about the new markers. Why do I not want to say that correctly? Yeah, I cannot say it. Ahuhu, there it is. Okay, Ahuhu markers. Those ones are so juicy and so nice. And the Copics I know I've had for a little while, but I really have not gotten the use out of them. And so many of them are, I'm going to need to buy some of the ink refills and stuff like that. So don't be like me. Use your art supplies up. Don't, because they're precious or expensive markers that you pay a lot of money for, leave them sitting there for something better one day or whatever. Use them. That's what they're there for. But so anyway, so doing a base coat on her, and then I'm kind of darkening up her eyebrows right now, but I'm going in now and trying to put in some shadows where I think the shadows should be a little bit darker under the chin, and then on the ears, and then kind of her whole head is kind of doing a shadow on her body. But I tried to, I don't know if you can see it, I tried to make her making a funny face because the hummingbird is, you know, I guess trying to get the nectar out of her flower, whether it's a real flower or fake flower, I don't know. I tried to um, make a bit of a scene there, but it's not easy with different expressions and stuff like that. And portraits, in fact, not. I really love to do portraits, but they can be hard and they can be challenging. So this year, I want to spend a lot more time working on them, not just in marker, but, back into watercolor. I've been teaching myself watercolor for the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. And I feel like the end of last year and this year, I just kind of I still want to do lots of watercolor. I love it. But I'm really getting into doing more gouache and like the markers, using the supplies that I have, because I don't know, I get bored a little bit sometimes. So it's nice to break that out in the sketchbook and do things a little bit different sometimes. So right here, I went out of the lines a little bit, and I am taking the clear colorless blender and kind of trying to push that ink back into the lines. So I don't use markers a lot. And so I'm very, I know a little bit about it. I've watched people use them and I've used them some, but um, I just want to get more familiar with all my supplies. The last marker piece I did, I used mostly the alcoholmarkers, and I love them. But Copic still has some of the really light colors, I feel. Um, that there's just not as many in the Ahuhu ones. And it's just nice having, all of them at hand. But when they're starting to dry out, that's awful. But I do have some Ahuhu. I had a smaller set for a while now, and those still are just as juicy as day one. So it's good to know that those are seeming to hold on for a while. So basically how I do the marker thing as you're seeing it is, I kind of put my base flat color. And then once I've got the base flat color everywhere, I go in, and while I'm doing the base flat color, I try to leave any lighter areas that I want light, kind of like you do in watercolor, so that you've got your highlights naturally where you get your highlights. And then so once all the base color's in, I try to go in and then darken things up. So once I finish the flat hair, so now I'm going in and darkening up like the right here underneath like where her bangs are, where the fold is there. And then gonna darken up behind her neck, like where the hair falls behind her neck and stuff there. The cool thing about alcohol markers is it's kind of like you can put it, the ink pushes itself. So you can, with the blender marker, if you did want a light spot, you could go in there and use it. It's kind of something that you've got to play with a little bit to see how it works. But I think I always want to blend a little bit too much with the markers as well. So like I said, I'm just trying to get used to using them again. I think they can make some beautiful illustrations and stuff. This one, I do go back with the Ahuhu marker, one of the Ahuhu markers, and kind of even out her skin tone. Because while I really like that color, it's just so patchy. And I don't think it's the sketchbook, or I don't think it's me going too fast in spots, but I noticed I was doing that a little bit here and there too. You got to be careful that, if you're not giving the ink time to get in there and saturate as you're covering a space, you're not doing, or you're going faster in certain spots and slower in certain spots, it's going to be a little patchy. But so that's what I'm doing here, is going in with all the darker colors and filling those in. I didn't do too much blending or anything on this. I kind of stayed just keeping it simple and just working in the sketchbook. Sometimes that's fun, just to try to keep things. And this is also like a little bit more I think my natural thing is to do things a little bit more realistic. But I wanted to do a little bit more of a cartoon, more like character style. Um, I see everybody's videos with original characters and stuff like that, and I've been thinking more towards that, and maybe trying to come up with some this year, and creating some things like that. So, not that this is like necessarily an original character or anything like that, but I want to start creating and working a little bit more the kind of different cartoon styles, and see what kind of fits into, I guess, my style. I think I tend to do more of like a semi-realistic style. I think my natural thing is to do things more realistic, but I think when you try to simplify it a little bit, I think that's where I naturally try to fit into. I think everybody's got like their natural like style. You do enough things. I think the key is just to do enough pieces and try things here and there, and you kind of see like your natural kind of style emerge. Here I'm going in with the I think it's like the N0 neutral zero marker, because nobody's eyes are all the way white. And then so once I get that in there, I go back and take the colorless blender and kind of push the ink back out of the center. I think I probably could have not done it in the center with the zero and just done it around the edges and kind of blended into the middle. But either way, I think it kind of works. So here I'm just kind of doing the flower. Again, I'm just keeping things simple. But I really want to start doing a lot more in the sketchbook and making these videos. If you guys have any ideas or anything that you want to see next or anything, don't hesitate. I'm on Instagram, and I'm going to be posting a lot more on there as well. So you can reach out to me either place, really, here or there. And maybe I'll set up some polls and stuff like that to see what people want to see next. Or if we should keep going in the more cartoonish style, like creating characters, or more of the semi-realistic style. But I like to do all kinds of things. And I know they say when you're making the YouTube videos, you kind of want to put yourself into, kind of niche down and stuff like that. But which I'm trying to do, but there's so many different things I like to do, and I think there's people out there like me. So as long as I'm sticking to the same group of things, I don't know. We'll see if that works. But here, going into the hummingbird, these little birds are so cute. They're so small. I have a video. I try to walk every day, and on the walk, sometimes I create videos and stuff. And there's this really cool woodpecker, and I took some video of it on the walk the other day. And I think I'm going to do either a video or a short, and do a picture of him, and then I'll show you guys the video and stuff. I really like birds a lot. We got the bird feeder with the camera going in the background right now, and that's so awesome because you get to see a little glimpse into their world as they do their normal thing, eating and stuff back there. You don't get to see them up close like that, right? Really. But anyway, so the bird, I'm keeping that simple with the markers, just going in with the different colors of, I don't really know which exact hummingbird I was going after with the colors. It was a reference that I think I got from Pinterest, along with, I think it was like 5 different references. I think most of them were from Pinterest. But again, keeping it simple. And then I'm going to go in after I'm kind of getting the beak in here with some colored pencil. And I'm just kind of going a little bit thicker around the outline. And then, in the hair and stuff like that, I go in with like a darker brown. But around the outline, I just kind of did it with a little bit darker, just to kind of, I guess, I don't know, give it even more cartoon look. But I kind of like it. It kind of just keeps it all defined and in there. I think she came out really cute. I really like her. I love this sharpener. If you guys have never used this sharpener, it's got like it's called a long point one, and it's really great, especially on the harder pencils like the polychromos and stuff, so that you can get that really long point, and then it stays for so much longer. But yeah, so I'm going around a little bit and defining places here and there with the colored pencils. I just realized now, looking at this, I don't think I ever filled her necklace in. I was thinking about doing it with the gold marker, or maybe with one of the gold pens. I'll have to do that. So I really like this sketchbook. A lot of people recommended this sketchbook and stuff. And so I hopefully soon, my mission is to finish this sketchbook up. Hopefully, maybe by the beginning of February is when I'm trying. I really don't have that much left. And again, like, so this year it's progress over perfection. So try to finish that up and do my first full finished sketchbook, and post that video on there. It's really crazy. I've got stacks of sketchbooks and I don't think I've ever finished one. So that'll be exciting. So if you have made it this far or made it some of the way, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Sorry for babbling my way through it. Hopefully I will get better at narrating these, but I really do appreciate you guys being here. And say hi below, comment, whatever, anything you'd like to see in the next video. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.